Alright, alright, alright. Alright, cool. So we're going to continue where we left off. The first paragraph of the paper basically talks about what ghost jobs are in the digital age, and ATS, how it actually reduces spam, and then it talks about the exploiting it with all these tools and towards bad actors to use. Okay. Let me just delete as many craps I need to. I don't really use them. Okay. Just gonna ask ChatGPT, well, DeepSeek really, what to talk about next. Okay, what should my next paragraph be? So how's the security term, personal information being stolen? The end user did not consent. I already talked about those two. People could take the information and use it for profit. Yeah, I talked about that. It goes against data manipulation. Should explain how ghost jobs detect, deceive applications, and obtain consent. Okay, so the paragraphs are going to basically be talking about how are ghost jobs different from regular job posting. Yeah. You should cover your first paragraph, establish how ghost jobs exist, and collect sensitive information data through the ATS. Your second paragraph should explain the description and mechanism, how ghost job trick application, the consent problem, and why this matters. Okay. So, control copy, name, control paste for 2. So, do I need to have a research paper behind links behind this one? I don't really think so. Applications are presented with legit privacy concerns and responsibility. These contracts are designed to obtain consent, not to inform. This consent shield consent shields companies from legal liability. The result, applications only give their let's look up ghost jobs. Maybe something like how to spot ghost jobs. How to spot ghost jobs. Ghost jobs in the digital labor market and empirical analysis of hiring insight signs using a novel English category classification framework. Just gonna have this be read out. I can't be bothered.
The prevalence of ghost jobs, job postings without genuine immediate hiring intent, represents a significant yet understudied labor market inefficiency. This paper presents an empirical analysis of N equals 414 job postings collected between June and October 2025 using a novel 8-category hiring intent classification framework. Our analysis reveals 3 principal findings. First, 55.0% of classified postings, N equals 88 of 160, exhibit problematic hiring intent signals, distributed across high ATS filtering risk, 29.4%, candidate pipelining, 15.0%. Recruiter data collection, 7.5%, vague postings, 2.5%, and internal hire likelihood, 0. Experience.
Okay, I gotta strike applicants, how companies obtain legal cover, connect back with the thesis. I don't think that's really right.
This study investigates the emerging phenomenon of ghost hiring, or ghost jobs, where employers advertise job openings without intending to fill them. Using a novel dataset from Glassdoor and employing ALLM-BERT technique, I find that up to 21% of job ads may be ghost jobs. And this is particularly prevalent in specialized industries and in larger firms. The trend could be due to the low marginal cost of posting additional job ads and to maintain a pipeline of talents. After adjusting for yearly trends, I find that ghost jobs can explain the recent disconnect in the Beveridge curve in the past 15 years. The results show that policymakers should be aware of such a practice as it causes significant job fatigue and distorts market signals.
No, it literally just gave me what I need. Citation. No. This. Because I understand it very well on my own. Shortage use, you need sources for your second paragraph, even if you understand the topic well. However, the type of amount of resources depend on the paper. Okay. So then I'll just put down what should I look for on Google Scholar. Ghost jobs is sensitive data risk and leaks. Good jobs. Consumer protection law. Data harvesting, job applications, privacy law. For this. Paragraph. Okay, shows receive applications and obtain consent. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think the original one kind of did had that. So I'll just read. Documents. D-line concepts. Nope, wrong one. No. Damn, I don't know where it is. Probably just downloaded it. Modified 4 days ago. No. Yep, don't know where it is. There it is. Okay. So last time I read it was page 188. I'll just continue from there. I'll check that. Rid of permanently contract speaks not just to. It's 4:30. Boom. Boom. Of a privacy contract speaks not just to our legislation nature, but to recognize growth like a faint ember beneath the ash of daily check wrap. Arguments: the privacy data is valuable, and should be held with care. Checking throughout the policy contracts before selecting and agree on a credit card offer, a new social media account, or a job application can force or remember that something of value indeed we or your data. Yeah, I agree with that. It's being given in a trade. This argument has become a critical norm underlying the digital economy. A company provides something of value in exchange for something for the customer that is also of the value, namely personal data. Microsoft application. While internet users may not read the terms of a privacy notice before granting their consent to proceed, they certainly believe that performing the ritual is a content of receiving some benefit. Job applications share personal information with employment science because they are responsible belief that a deal is being made. Some slice of personal privacy in exchange for possibility. Every modes of obtaining as a numerous other contexts is exchange of personal data for other forms of value has become a bedrock of Denmark society contract. How companies obtain legal cover. Connect back to your thesis. So how companies obtain legal cover. So I guess, yeah, this would be trickery, but it wouldn't be how Ghost Jobs trick applicants. Vulnerable. The route trickery in a solution rather than destroy device. Applications are presented with legal privacy concerns that cannot responsibly read the contracts or okay, so this one, this part actually works well with number 2. Child can share personal. This is talks about sharing personal deployment sites. These contacts are designed to obtain consent, not to inform. So yeah, that works with that one too. Share personally with lethal privacy concerns. It also did talk about that. I do remember. A result of a patient unknowingly give their sensitive data. Responsible to have a slice of personal privacy in exchange of possibility, however, the remote to obtain employment. As numerous other contexts, this exchange of personal data for other form of value become a bedrock. So yeah. This part actually works really well. The only thing I'm missing is the trickery part. Privacy contract speaks not just to our nature, but to a recognition glowing like a faint ember beneath the ash of the click wrap agreement. I mean, I don't really like that wording, to be honest. The personal data is valuable and should be held with care. Clicking throughout the privacy contract before selecting agree on a credit card offer or a new social media network or a job application contract, it can force a reminder that something of value is indeed we are the data is being given as a trade. That's kind of just more of a figuring out, hey, if this service is free, then you are the service at the end of the day. Doesn't really talk about preying on the vulnerable throughout trickery or illusions. This agreement has become a critical norm underlying the digital economy. A company provides something value in exchange of something. So I think I'm gonna have to find through another report because this is not talking about artificial intelligence. Let's see if we're just quick shorts. Nope, not there. Okay. So, Google Scholar. So, AI. How would I be able to do that? I mean, for making this agreement, trickery and illusion, that would be more of like they made a job posting with AI in order to make it look legitimate at the end of the day. This research paper doesn't talk about that, so I guess I have to find out for it. So how would I be able to search it up? Probably like something like AI versus human text versus human text. Yes, I am a robot. It fails. AI generated versus human authored text. A multiple ecosystem. Okay.
The goal of this study is to assess the degree of resemblance between texts generated by artificial intelligence, GPT, and written and spoken texts produced by human individuals in real world settings. A comparative analysis was conducted along the 5 main dimensions of variation that Biber, 1988, identified. The findings revealed significant disparities between AI-generated and human-authored texts, with the AI-generated texts generally failing to exhibit resemblance to their human counterparts. Furthermore, a linear discriminant analysis, performed to measure the predictive potential of dimension scores for identifying the authorship of texts, demonstrated that AI-generated texts could be identified with relative ease based on their multidimensional profile. Collectively, the results underscore the current limitations of AI text generation in emulating natural human communication. This finding counters popular fears that AI will replace humans in textual communication. Rather, our findings suggest that, at present, AI's ability to capture the intricate patterns of natural language remains limited.
Is there a more recent one? I'm fine with that. AI generated varies human text. Introduction to a new dataset benchmark of analysis. Even if some uses of AI text generation are legitimate, we cannot ignore the AI-powered text generation is created in massive amounts of online data. That's actually something that's actually something really good that perfectly fits.
Artificial intelligence, AI, is increasingly embedded in our everyday lives. With the introduction of ChatGPT in November 2022 by OpenAI, people can now ask a bot to generate comprehensive write-ups in seconds. This new transformative technology also introduces ethical, safety, and other general concerns. It is important to harness the power of AI to understand whether a body of text is generated by AI or whether it is organically human. In this article, we create and curate a medium-sized dataset of 10,000 records containing both human and machine-generated text and utilize it to train a reliable model to accurately distinguish between the two. First, we use DISTIL GPT-2 with various inputs to generate machine text. Then, we acquire an equal sample size of human-generated text. All the text is cleaned, explored, and visualized using the Uniform Manifold Approximation and Projection (UMAP) dimensionality reduction technique. Finally, the text is transformed into vectors using several techniques, including bag of words, term frequency inverse document frequency, bidirectional encoder representations from transformer, and neural network-based embeddings. Machine learning experiments are then performed with traditional models such as logistic regression, random forest, and XGBoost, as well as deep learning models such as long short-term memory, LSTM, convolutional neural network, CNN, and CNN-LSTM. Across all vectorization strategies and machine learning algorithms, we measure accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 scores. We also time each exercise. Each model completes its training within an hour, and we observe scores above 90%. We then use the Shapley Additive Explanations (SHAP) package on machine learning models to explore if and how we can explain the model to further validate results. Lastly, we deploy the TF-IDF random forest model to a user-friendly web application using the Streamlit framework, allowing users without coding expertise to interact with the model.
So with this one, probably the biggest thing I want out of this is the percentage. Conclusion and future work. This website does not scale with going in and out. In this study, our primary contribution was the creation of a novel dataset of 10,000 records, composed of both human and machine-generated text. So we leveraged this dataset to develop the test several models, including conversational machine learning algorithms and deep learning algorithms. We successfully developed one of these models capable of predicting whether a body of text is generated by a machine or a human. This contribution is crucial given the increasing purpose of machine. We did not compare our results with existing studies as an introduction and utilize a new dataset to apply various models. I think I'm able to show this. Holy shit, that is blurred to fuck. Because like I didn't really have to log in for this in the first place. Yeah, I'm not even signed in. Okay. Challenges, public tools, and failure detection. Methodology, data collection, pre-processing, yeah. Which can be done by article source and labeled pre-processing for length. Word counts by article source and label.
Table I presents the results for the Bow vector representation. The XGBoost classifier outperforms the others, delivering uniformly high scores of 0.91 across accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 metrics. This impressive performance underscores XGBoost's ability to effectively navigate the complexities of the Bow feature space. Its robust ensemble approach adeptly manages bias and variance within the dataset. Following closely is logistic regression, which demonstrates its effectiveness with balanced performance metrics, all approximately around the 0.90 mark.
What the? No. Damn you teams.
The results for the TF-IDF representation are presented in Table 2. Both the RF and XGBoost classifiers achieved identical scores across all metrics, accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score, with each scoring 0.91. This outcome underscores the effectiveness of these algorithms in utilizing the TF-IDF representation for classification tasks. Logistic regression, while marginally lower, still demonstrated commendable performance, maintaining scores of 0.90 across all metrics. Even if some uses of AI text generators are legitimate, we cannot ignore that AI-powered text generation is creating massive amounts of online data. In a 2023...
That's what I want. This is what I want. Okay. article by coined the term model collapse. Model collapse is the process that results in a model that no longer represents the distribution of underlying data. The focus
Even if some uses of AI text generators are legitimate, we cannot ignore that AI-powered text generation is creating massive amounts of online data. In a 2023 article, Shumailov et al. Coined the term model collapse. 9. Model collapse is a degenerative process that results in a model that no longer represents the distribution of the underlying data. The probabilities of the AI-generated training data are compounded to create smaller probabilities for low-occurrence events and much higher probabilities for events that occur frequently. The authors call this the curse of recursion, where much of the text found online could someday be generated by LLMs and thereby cause model collapse for future LLMs without a way to reliably detect authentic discourse from content that is model generated. Knowing if the text was written by a human or not is imperative to its inclusion in LLM training datasets. LLMs can also be used for large-scale disenfranchisement of marginalized groups and exploiting systems and individuals for financial gain, among the many threats posed by public access. The ability to detect inauthentic discourse is essential to the preservation of democracy. Academic fraud stressing the publication review process, fake resumes, and cover letters are already impacting the culture as well as overall reduced trust in text communications. Whereby users assume opposing viewpoints are inauthentic rather than acknowledge the existence of a variety of viewpoints, further dehumanizing and polarizing societies. Distrust is fostered by open-source data collected that may be impacted by model poisoning attacks where enough text data of a certain type is produced to impact the samples and therefore the distribution of model training data. Generated text can be used in mass online influence campaigns that can be political, propaganda, social, disinformation, as well as commercial, fake reviews. Phishing and spam can also fit into this category since AI-generated text content in this context is centered around targeting and scalability. Translation models can be used to distribute this information across language barriers and bots can be used to ensure it reaches the maximum audience while social algorithms can be exploited to amplify the message. The platforms where this type of generated text is most prevalent should use reliable and fair methods to detect and remove inauthentic content before it can cause harm. Even given all this, platforms need to consider the harm of mass censoring online speech. AI-generated text detection methods. 1.
Okay. Frame the vulnerable throughout trickery and resolution. So I'm going to be using this as the whole trickery and illusion. I really want to make this smaller. I no longer represent underlying data. Yeah, this talks about more of underlying data, the AI character. Could be someday generated by LLMs, therefore okay. How can I use this for this? Damn. Argument that ghost jobs are using trickery for applicants. You can use the concept model to powerfully explain why the trickery in today's hiring market ghost jobs applications are automated screening. It is not just frustrating, but blah blah blah. Explain the curse resolution in the higher market, just as on trains on AI generated data lose. What the fuck? Nuance, yeah. And figure out the tails of the original description. How did I end my last paragraph? Preserve the sensitive information. So probably go from you lose your sensitive information to more of something like what types of people are being tricked. Okay. Task Ghost, jobs, steal. Yeah, I guess. It would be considered stealing, but legality. Take Kent's data. Let's go to say covering his data. For their own purpose, more and more agents are being aware of where they are sending their data to and how they give it to them. And yeah. This makes ghost jobs a lot more easy. I mean, it makes them easier to spot. So it makes applicants more aware. This makes applicants more aware of what jobs they are applying to and how they are, not how what they're applying to. So they would read more in towards it. I mean, yeah. More aware of what jobs they're applying to and learn some ways to spot ghost jobs and stay away from them. And then it's like another tool. Yeah, I was thinking about like maybe finding some sort of citation where I can find a job boards tell you to, look what you apply towards because of certain things, right? Like Ghost Jobs itself, data mining operations. And then I'll say, and then another tool. But then another tool. So when did ChatGPT come out? More like LLMs. Yeah. Wait, is that correct? Okay. They were released on, yeah. On November 22, a new tool was just released called ChatGPT. This tool, ChatGPT, is a LLM, large language. I do not know how to spell model, LLM. That processes text, processes ideas from an input of text, making writing a paragraph a lot easier. Did I put, is that Easter? Easier. Okay. Easier. Because of this, making ghost jobs more easier and more able to bad actors. Finding more, mistakes or potential ghost, potential common ghost job. What did we call it? Signs. Finding mistakes or potential ghost job signs. More difficult. Okay. I'm just gonna make another thing so I can just separate them. Okay. So while internet users may not read the terms of policy, okay, so what's the next thing? Okay. Degree and
インシヌアチオン
it's more difficult. Find mistake. Okay. Let me just read. Let's go jobs, take application data, applicants data for their applicants data for their own purpose, more and more applications. Applicants are being aware of what type of data they are sending. Giving. This makes applicants more aware of what types of ghost job. More applications being aware. Not really. I don't really need that. As more ghost jobs grow, applicants find ways to spot them and it's not really call them out. Spot them and walk away or report them. Walk away from them. I don't really need this. In November, a new tool was just released called ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a large language model, LLM, that takes ideas from an input of text, takes ideas from an input of text, writing a paragraph making text and outputting the results. Outputs the results, making writing a paragraph a lot easier because of this, making ghost jobs more easier and accessible to bad actors. Finding mistakes or potential common ghost job signs is more difficult. So then, okay. Some more bad actors have this because of this. Ghost jobs are more easier and more accessible to bad actors, and can be more difficult to spot the patterns of ghost jobs. Yeah. And then, yeah, that basically talks about the trickery of it. Applications are presented with the privacy consent they do not read. Okay. After the thanks, the job posting is legitimate and the input of the required information into the ATS and then have ATS they are prompted to click agree and accept the terms of service. Sorry, represented by the literature cannot read. Gathering consent, proceeding theory, certainly believe that performing this ritual proceeds benefit. In order to continue to submit their application, and then I can make a reference towards this part. Because that is some sort of benefit at the end of the day. How did ChatGPT? Okay, it did it afterwards. Boom. Let me highlight my text. No. Let me highlight their text. There we go. So I can easily. That's actually a really good idea. I'm not gonna lie. That's a fantastic idea. Bro. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Okay. What did I just do? Okay. So Parasite cannot be read. These contracts are designed to obtain consent but not inform. does that basically go under that? Job applications share personal information with their employee sites because they responsible through their responsible belief that the deal is to be made. Some from slice, however, the employment. Yeah. Checking the term purpose down agreeing to accept the terms of service service main purpose is to obtain consent, but not to inform the applicant of what they are consenting. As Grimm says, they certainly believe. Grimm says, Grimm points to giving data to them, they would expect a reward. In terms of service privacy, but before gathering gets proceed, they certainly believe that performing this ritual, giving girl to give points to giving consent for an intern of gaining employment. Yeah, that's good. These contractor design did that. This consent shields companies from legal liability. Share personal information, employment, science, responsibility, believe that a deal is being made. Some slice of personal privacy is exchanged. The first possibility, however remote, of obtaining employment. Consent shields. It doesn't talk about that. The results applications are normally given. As numerous other contexts, this extends. Okay, so I guess I have to make my own point for that. So that's not bad. The terms of service main purpose is to shield liability from the company. Since the data you are sharing them is sensitive. Some applications unknowingly giving away their sensitive information. And then in numerous other contexts, this exchange of personal information for other forms of value become a bedrock of modern social contracts. Yeah, I'll use that. That's actually really good to use. I like that. Biatch. Oops. There you go. See this F? I don't want it to be highlighted. Okay. Okay. So, normalizing contracts, essential personal data form the bedrock, normalizing giving data to others in exchange for something in return makes where makes it where the applicants are obligated to give this information without questioning it. Okay. This results in people basically consenting without knowing they're consenting. Consenting without knowing they are consenting their personal data. Copy. This is the right pathway. It just got rid of all the. Oh no, it didn't. Okay. Oh man. There we go. That did not do anything. There. Okay. I'm gonna read this, but I also want I used this for citing. Could you cite do in text citing of the work? Okay, while that works, might as well start reading. Whatever. As ghost jobs grow, applicants have developed ways to spot them and avoid them. However, the emerging of new technologies has made it increasingly difficult. On November 30th, 2022, OpenAI released ChatGPT ALM that generates human-like text based on user input. While ChatGPT has many legitimate applications, it has also made creating convincing job application ghost jobs easier and more accessible to bad actors. Scammers can now use AI-generated text to produce highly realistic job descriptions, company profiles, and even email communications, making it significantly harder for applicants to detect patterns commonly associated with fraudulent. Is that what it says?
Fraudulent.
Yeah, fraudulent postings. As a result, the line between legitimate job opportunities and ghost jobs have become increasingly blurred. Yep. Once an applicant believes a job posting is legitimate and inputs all of their required information into the ATS, they are prompted to click agree and accept the terms of service in order to submit their application. Other internet users may not read the terms of service, terms of privacy notice before gathering their consent. They certainly believe that performing the ritual is a condition presented some benefits. Agreeing to accept the terms of service primarily to obtain consent and not to inform the applications and whether they are consenting to. As Graham points out, applicants are given consent with the intent of gaining employment, but the terms of service are designed to shield companies from liability of how they collect, store, and use sensitive applicant data. And as in numerous other contents, this exchange of personal data for other forms of its bedrock social media, normalizing this exchange, giving data in return for some benefit, creates an environment where applicants feel obligated to provide personal information without questioning it. They result in this system where individuals unknowingly consent to surrendering their sensitive information, believing they are simply completing a routine step in the application process. Results in the system, individuals unknowingly consent to surrender their data. Yeah, that makes a point. Okay, okay, as researchers have noted, current AI text description is something bad, not better than flipping a coin in practice. Yeah. Oh shit, it did. I'm assuming that's where. Uh, Furthermore, AI can be used for exploiting systems which directly, maybe. Okay, I see where it's done. Okay. Both parts are cited. Let's go. This one's going to be a double paragraph because why not? There we go. Wow. This is a lot. And 3. So, first paragraph points out the tools used for ATS, online and ghost jobs. And it continues from that. And then it goes down and towards the introduction of ChatGPT, how that actually makes it a lot more harder to find legitimately jobs, and then it goes in towards more of a consenting route. So what should I do for the fourth paragraph then? Is this where more of like I have to go for the data part of it? Yeah, I think it would have to be for that at the end of the day. For the next part, should I go for looking yeah, for the next part of the paper, should I be going towards? Data and figuring out what type of data to look. Okay. Figure out what type of data of the job application on platforms like LinkedIn, Glassdoor is Glassdoor a job platform. I've never used Glassdoor before as a job platform. I've always heard of it. Okay. Glassdoor and Indeed. Then use AI to spot certain data. I don't care about that. Certain data to help spot ghost jobs. Why this works, blah, blah. Well, your next paragraph should cover the scale of the problem. Data on how many ghost jobs exist on platforms like Indeed, LinkedIn, Glassdoor. Current detection methods. How researchers are using AI/ML to identify ghost jobs. Why it matters. So go with the starting paragraph, the scale of the problem. So we're going to be talking about the scope of the problem. Scope of the problem of gaining job postings from LinkedIn, Glassdoor, and Indeed. I do not know how to spell Indeed. By getting job postings from LinkedIn, Glassdoor, and Indeed, and using AI/ML to figure out which are ghost jobs and which are legitimate jobs. So, this is where the paragraph we're going to be talking about the scope of the problem. and catalyzing everything else. I'm not doing this for a course. I'm just doing this for like my first time doing a research paper. Not really the first time. It's just more of like, because I did a research paper about computer science grads for best way to get hands-on experience, and that would be going towards a group called the ACM, Associates of Computing. It's basically just your computer science class, but with all the students in there. I'm not really in towards it because over here in my school, it's just more of like, yeah, let's go to hackathons. I'm not really much of a hackathon type of person. It just doesn't just I just don't really care for hackathons. I can see why people like it because it's a fun, challenging tool for new programmers, but it's like, doing something in like 24 hours isn't really much of a software development life cycle. It's not really much keep on continuously building software. It's more just push everything right away. That's it. Because the thing about software, it's like it just continuously grows over time. Like you might have a HTML website on day number 1. After day number 50, you have a e-commerce website. It's just a lot of parts for it. But I'm just doing this for the fun of it. I'm just doing research paper for the fun of it. So the scope of the problem, how researchers are using AI in ghost jobs, why this makes us swing. So I'm already thinking about having a data table that are legitimate job postings. Ooh. So having a data table with legitimate job postings and then of course one that has ghost jobs. Ghost jobs postings. What else do I need? I would need a data type table for each job post. So having a data table for each job posting. Would be another one. Counting for errors. No. I think that's really it for the detecting if a job is AI or not. So I'll probably use an LLM to. Oh man, I'm gonna have to use a web scraping link. If you guys don't know, web scraping is like LinkedIn and Glassdoor. Like websites hate it because it's just a bot taking information. It's useful. So how would I be taking this information would I be taking this information web scraping web scraping and then putting them into a spreadsheet. I guess now it's the time for finding jobs. Actually, I do not want to be, do I have Firefox installed? Yeah. I do not want to be, logging in my own. Spreadsheet. So what I really need right now is the variables linked and the variables of like jobs, you know, like any day. Do you have to log in? Okay, no, you don't have to. That's pretty cool, honestly. I hate it when websites require a login. So we're just going to take a note of what we can see here of all this. Oh boy. Why is there so many cashier positions? Get over here. There you go. So, this is 5 months ago. Bro, is this a ghost job already? That's crazy. Probably not. So, variables. Variables. Okay, first variable. I can see it just literally doxed me. There we go. Wow. Oh my god. How do I turn off locations? I do not want locations. How does it even know my location, dude? Block request, location, save changes. Jobs. Okay, now that's weird. Wait. Never mind. What the heck? Yeah, it's requiring a password. Wait. I literally just turned off my location for it to be able to take my location. Probably just put down United States. USA. This is what I'm dealing with. What? How did I... What the heck? Sent back an error. Too many requests. Check to make sure you typed the website address correctly. Okay. LinkedIn Jobs USA. Am I blocked? There's no way LinkedIn is down right now. Yeah, it's not down. What? Okay. There we go. I guess I press this. Yep. You know what? Whatever. I don't care. You know what I can do? I can put this. Yeah. Put this full screen. Put this down here. There. This is so scripted. Variables. Job title. Employer. Location. Actually, this actually can make it pretty good. How long ago was the job created? How many people applied? People applied. And then there's a description. I can't see anything else. Pay range. The range is based on your skills and experience. pay range. Pay range. Wow, this is a perfect example. Job. What's that called? It's called job ID. Job ID. No. Job posting ID. ID. And what was the other thing? Job description. Job description. Did I spell that right? Probably not. Seniority level, non-optical. What was that? Job type? No, employment type. Yeah, job type. Type. Job functions. And industry. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. This is hella AI. The opportunity. I mean, this is just job description, right? Yeah, all this is just job description. Yo, what the fuck? I didn't even meant to go there. Firefox has their own screenshot? That's actually pretty cool. Ask AI, don't care. So Shift J. How do I get into developer tools? Inspect page. No. I swear to God I could go on. I swear to God I could go on developer tools. Inspect. Did it say inspect? Okay, it did say inspect. Why is it like this? How do I... Damn it. To the right. I actually think towards the left is actually better. You have to do it like this. Select. There we go. So class show more or less HTML. Okay. There's the button. Description jobs. I'm gonna need to mark everything with just so I can what's it called? When I do scripting. Is that literally the class name? Damn, that is a long ass name. I ain't gonna cap. This one. Copy the whole damn thing, dude. Yeah, don't capitalize it, buddy. Just leave it how it is. And then wait. Okay. Copy that. Paste it. And then the last couple things. Oh my god, each of them are... Control copy, paste. Control copy. Well, I don't need the employer type. I'm just realizing that. So I don't need that. Control copy, paste. Wait, is that literally the same? Chapter semester, control copy. Yeah, it is the same. Are these going to be the same? Is there a little box? Yeah, these are just the same HTML elements. There we go. Let's copy that. Okay. anything else? They're all cashier jobs, mind you. They're literally all cashier, except crew member, which you are doing cashier jobs. Unemployed? So housekeeper, wait, what? Full-time, part-time. Now I'm just going in the rabbit hole. Housekeeper, I know what housekeepers are. They're just people to watch the house and do basic stuff. But caretaking shelf stalker is also unemployed? Dude, that is so weird. Software engineer. Going software engineer, first thing that pops up. See if you guys want a free job, do that. This is not a ghost job. But 147 people are applying, which is a whole lot lower. Like, I mean, a whole lot lower. What the fuck? Past month. There's no way. Bro, I gotta check this for myself, honestly. Does the software engineering job market actually fix itself? It probably did, honestly. But I'm seeing definitely worse results as I'm logged in. Like, literally. I'm seeing results from a couple years ago. I'm not a couple years ago, couple weeks ago. I'll just show it, why not? Yeah, just put it right here. So I'm getting like this 2 weeks ago. Go in Firefox. Go to History tab. Open this. It makes me want to log in. I'm not logging in. Fuck that. Yeah, it's so different. What the fuck? Like, it gives you like this, oh yeah, it's actually legitimate jobs. At least they look legitimate. But like when I get on it, 2 weeks ago, 1 week, 1 week, 3 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks. I mean, dude, this is definitely like a lot different. I remember when I was like applying a couple years ago, I had to apply. I applied for 3,000 jobs. I got 3 phone calls back. Well, not really. I got 2 phone calls back. I think I got like in total like 3 people messaging me back because I think I was applying to a shitload of ghost jobs at the end of the day. And they were just stealing my data and shit. But now it's like a lot more better. I don't know, man. Hopefully it's a better when I graduate. Alright. It's 6 o'clock, honestly. Been streaming for 2 hours. I'm gonna head out. So, I kind of have this. I mean, I guess on the next, tomorrow I'll be talking about more about the scope and make a paragraph out of it explaining all this stuff. And then after that, make a Python script of for web scripting, web scraping, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, and Indeed. If that fails, I would have to manually do all that, which is not going to be fun. But hey, at the end of the day, I could probably use some sort of AI tool to separate, and I can just copy the whole page or whatever. Or whatever, honestly. That's about it.